Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to make sense of the complex world of business filings and give you the inside scoop. Today, we're diving into a report from China Pharma Holdings Incorporated. Let's just say this filing has a bit of a magic trick involved, turning one company's good idea into another's potential fortune. All paid for with digital IS. Before we get started, if you like getting straight talk on these corporate documents, make sure you are subscribed. And hey, we've got a great community discussing these things over on our Discord server, linked right down in the description. Alright, so what we have here is a Form 8K filing from China Pharma Holdings Incorporated. Think of this as a current report, meaning something important just happened that the company needs to tell everyone about pretty quickly. The earliest event reported happened on the 22nd of December 2025. The main story here is about one of their subsidiaries called Hainan Helpsin Medical and Biotechnology Company, which we'll just call Helpsin for short. Helpsin just made a deal, a pretty big one, to get a new technology. This new technology is actually a patent for something called iproglyphosin tablets and how to make them. Basically, Helpsin is buying the rights to this invention. The person selling it, who they call the transferor, will not only give up the patent, but also provide technical help. This includes helping with developing the product, getting all the paperwork ready for government approval, and applying for that approval. This is really about buying future products and the know-how to bring them to market. Now, how are they paying for this exciting new technology? Well, this is where things get interesting. The price tag is $9.8 million, but here is the twist: they are not paying with cash. Instead, they are paying with their own company stock, specifically common stock, at a price of $1.40 per S-share. So, if you do the math, $9.8 million divided by $1.40 per S-share, you get 7 million shares. This means China Pharma Holdings Incorporated is issuing 7 million shares of their common stock to the seller of this patent. These are what they call restricted shares, meaning the seller can't just turn around and sell them all at once. This is a common way to pay for intellectual property, especially when a company might want to conserve its cash. And here's a key detail that investors should always pay attention to. These new shares being issued are not being registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission or the SEC. They are being offered and issued under something called Regulation S. This basically means the deal is happening outside of the United States, and the recipient is considered a non-US person. This exemption from registration is important because it means these shares don't have to go through the usual, lengthy, and expensive registration process. The report is signed by Jillian Li, who is the President and Chief Executive Officer of China Pharma Holdings Incorporated. This signifies that the company's top leadership is aware of and has approved this transaction. On the surface, this filing looks like a straightforward acquisition of technology. Helpsin is getting a patent for a specific drug and the expertise to develop it, which could be a significant addition to their product pipeline. The use of stock for payment means they are preserving cash, which can be good for their immediate financial health, and it also aligns the seller's interest with the company's stock performance. However, there are always things to consider. Issuing a large number of shares, even restricted ones, can dilute the ownership of existing shareholders. This means each existing share becomes a smaller piece of the overall company. The value of these new shares is tied to the stock price of $1.40. If the company's stock price falls below this, the effective value of the deal for the seller decreases, and it could signal concerns about the future prospects of the company or the technology itself. The reliance on Regulation S for issuing these shares means the transaction is happening offshore. While this is a legitimate way to conduct business and avoid registration hurdles, it is worth noting that the recipient is outside the typical regulatory oversight of us securities markets. Looking at China Pharma Holdings Incorporated, they are listed on the Nice American Exchange under the ticker symbol CP. This means they are a publicly traded company and investors can buy and sell their stock. The fact that they are active in the biotechnology and pharmaceutical sector means they are in a highly competitive and regulated industry. Success hinges on innovation, effective drug development, and navigating complex regulatory pathways. This specific deal seems focused on acquiring a drug with potential therapeutic value. The success of this acquisition will heavily depend on how well Helpsin can develop the iproglyphosin tablets, get them approved, and then successfully market them. The $9.8 million valuation for a patent and associated services is a significant investment, and investors will be watching closely to see if it pays off. So, what is my take on this? China Pharma Holdings Incorporated is making a strategic move to acquire intellectual property, which is a necessary part of growth in the pharmaceutical industry. The use of stock shows ambition, but also a potential dilution for current owners. The key risk here is execution. Can they actually bring this patented drug to market effectively? The opportunity lies in the potential success of eproglyphlozin tablets. If these tablets pan out to be a successful product, this deal could be a major win. However, if the development hits roadblocks or the market reception isn't strong, then 7 million shares could end up being a costly payment for a stalled dream. Alright? That is our breakdown of China Pharma Holdings Incorporated's recent filing. What is your take on this stock for patent deal and what it signals for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps us out, and subscribe for more deep dives into corporate finance. Don't forget to check out the Discord community linked in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Corporate Decoder.